Hello, my name is Caitlin Lawson, and for my cultural value speech, my topic is prison as rehabilitation and how it is used, as well as it can be used as a social tool to help society instead of a place to punish real bad individuals. First, we will cover putting rehabilitation up front and first most instead of retribution and what the 5 goals of sentencing mean. Then, we will gateway into reassessing funding, which can equal long-term savings within. And lastly, we will address treating humans in the prison system as humans by preventing animal-like conditions with various examples of other countries and their success rates compared to the United States prison system. But first, what even is prison being a social tool? And even better, a social tool to help society. Prison being a social tool means focusing on the interactions within, for better or for worse. And as for a social tool to help society, well, we're about to dive right into that now. The most important thing we could do is focus on rearranging the 2 most important steps of the 5 goals of sentencing to match up to countries with more success like Norway. Now, what are the 5 goals of sentencing? The 5 goals of sentencing are retribution, incapacitation, deterrence, restoration, and rehabilitation. Some small background on these goals will be useful in understanding the system. So, retribution is preventing future crime by taking away the want to commit the crime. Incapacitation is removing the crime from society, like prison or house arrest. Deterrence is a form of frightening the criminal, aka severe punishment. Restoration is getting the criminal ready for release. And lastly, rehabilitation is a recovery process throughout. The 5 goals of sentencing have no perfected and systematic order, but there are more preferred and statistically proven methods that work better. Norway, for example, puts rehabilitation first and everything else second. The United States, however, chooses to put incapacitation and deterrence first, the goal being recovery. The system works for countries like Germany, Norway, and Sweden, who, over the years, have had dropping prisoner statistics due to focusing on a rehabilitation recovery, so that they may not see a relapse, but more so a recovery. Take the Marshall Project for an example. When the Secretary of New Mexico's Department of Corrections, Greg Mercantil, thought enough was enough by choosing to spend 48 hours in isolation to feel what his convicts go to. He then toured various German prison systems, yet Germany, the place who once held some of the worst prison holding systems, and he learned the most important thing. When a country pushes for healing and reformation, they have less people with a far lesser chance of relapse. The United States is a country who believes punishment is the most important for public safety and for victim justice. And with that mindset, every day we see people end up back in the prison system again or murdered within the system itself. And sometimes they commit suicide. Norway has a 21-year limit with a 5-year increment add-ons to focus on getting the prisoners out when they work hard for recovery. And through that, their statistics of prisoners are less than half that of the United States. Now, we as in the United States should also focus on reassessing funding, which can equal to long-term savings. Moving funding away from isolation chambers and into things like proper living conditions or real rooms with books and safe gyms, which gives the ability to learn and focus on recovery, can provide the positive aspect of the recovery, which is something so simple, yet the United States lacks it. If the United States took the ability to fund a little harder into proper living conditions, it would better the system and the mindset of those within it. The Swedish criminal justice system closed 4 out of 56 of its prisons in 2004, and their numbers dropped from 5,722 to 4,500 within 9.5 million citizens. Why? Better living conditions. They not only lead back to our previous topic because Sweden focuses on rehabilitation being the heart of their penal policy, as in they focus on the small window of reformation and recovery before diving into punishment. But that also leads into our next topic, which is that they treat human beings like, well, actual human beings. If Sweden's prison system ran like the United States, as in limited belongings and bedtimes, treating them like animals and children, their leader would be thrown out of the office. So why should the United States be treated differently? Isolation conditions promote insanity, and insanity is not any better than whatever sparked their crime in the first place. If we as in the United States remove the bare and poor living conditions, the country can produce better mentality. Better mentality stops anger and sadness, and reduces in-house crime, as well as it sparks these humans, yes, humans, a change for good. All the countries listed, Norway, Sweden, and Germany, focus on the 3 topics at hand: rehabilitation over retribution, and how it proves to create more success into lesser sentences and relapses. more funding for a better environment, which reduces insanity and depression for better recovery, and treating humans like humans by doing both the previous topics and reducing the focus on punishing convicts like children or animals. In order for the United States to have a better prison system, as well as working through proper social tools, the United States need to use other countries and their statistics as an example. The end goal here is less convicts with less relapses, also equaling in long-term savings and funding by having the lesser people locked up. Treat them as recoverable humans with proper living, and they will begin to act like ones. The websites I used to gather all my quotes and statistics were themarshallproject.org, slate.com, theguardian.com, and lumalearning.com. Thank you.